So a few weeks ago, I was offered a partnership in a real estate investment company because of my ability to meet women. And I'm going to tell you that story. And as a part of this story, I'm going to explain to you why it's actually very, very important that in today's society, you are good with women and you don't just ignore women and say, I'm going to only focus on myself. So what happened was me and two friends of mine decided to put together an event with a few models here in Budapest. We brought together some very talented photographers and a bunch of very attractive women, and we got a very nice location, a penthouse location, and we decided to do this event where we had food, wine, and we all did photos. We ate together. We had lunch. We had this awesome creative event, and it was a success. It was the first time I'd done an event exactly like that specifically. That was just for photography and sort of just for art and networking. And we pulled it off, and it was good. Now, the owner of the penthouse, who's a really talented, really successful, mature guy, he had been in contact with me, and I made the connection through another friend of mine, and he essentially said that we could use his apartment. We could use one of his apartments. He runs a real estate company, and he said we could use the apartment and bring the girls, as long, of course, as everything was done well, efficiently, and there was no accidents or anything like that. And in exchange, I helped him with a bit of his marketing. I gave him an overview of his marketing structures, his marketing plans, and what he could do to change his marketing in the future and actually earn more clients using social media, bring in people to the real estate firm through social media. I made this plan for him. And what happened was he came to the event, actually. He showed up to the event to check out what was going on. And the look on his face when he saw that I had filled this apartment with, I believe we had 9 or 10 girls show up with very attractive women. The look on his face was amazing. You could tell him and his business partner were visibly surprised. It was kind of like, oh, wow, I'm surprised that there's these girls here. He pulled this off. And a couple weeks later, we did a bit more talking. We connected some more. And he said, hey, we're working on this project. I'd like you to be a partner in it. And I declined, but still that connection is there. And it was a very good conversation and interesting opportunity. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because this is one of the first times where, it's not the only time, I've had other experiences similar to this, but it's one of the first times where I've seen the direct relationship between me being able to competently bring women to a location or be good with women and show that ability to someone who has value, a guy who has value, and me being able to build some kind of relationship with that person because I'm able to access women, because I'm good with women. Now, this isn't to say you need to be as good at bringing people together, bringing women together as I am, because this is what I've spent my life doing. Literally the same way an athlete practices football or practices basketball or any sport for a large portion of their lives and sacrifices other things. I did this when it comes to dating and when it comes to learning success with women in the game, as it were. I spent years going out in environments, immersing myself in approaching thousands and thousands of women like it was my job. And it was my job. I would literally do this day and night, multiple times per week. I focused on nothing else but approaching women, which led to me being an expert at it. And something that I've seen that is really the focus of this video here, and I want to share it with you. Maybe you find yourself victim to this, or you find yourself saying this, and I want to call you out if this is you. If it's not you, then maybe this video isn't for you. But I've seen this new trend among men where guys are starting to say, I'm just focusing on myself. It's this pattern I'm seeing, and me and my team, we have around 40 to 50 conversations per day on Instagram. And in these conversations, when we reach out to new people, when we have new people we're talking to, we get this a lot. I see it in our inbox. I'm just working on myself. I'm focusing on me. I'm focusing on, working on me and being the best version of me I can be. Now, that's really good. That's a really good thing. But I've seen this trending more and more, especially as there's more red pill content creators who are talking about how women are difficult and the dating marketplace is fucked and all this stuff. And I've seen more and more guys starting to just give up on dating. More men are single as well. More men are giving up on dating simply because they think that it's too difficult, or because they think it's not worth dealing with these 304s. There's these new patterns that are starting to emerge where guys are like, it's simply not worth it. And The problem with this, there's a big problem when you say, I'm just focusing on myself. And it doesn't mean there shouldn't be periods where you don't chase women and you don't look at women, you're not trying to get women. Of course. In fact, I think chasing women is never good. I really believe that, unless, again, you're trying to be a dating coach and you need to understand it. But most of us are not going to be that. So chasing women doesn't help you. But I found that saying, I'm just focusing on myself is more of an excuse and an escape. It's an escape from a difficult reality, which is the dating marketplace is difficult. The dating marketplace is not just nothing. It's not just simple. Like, you're just going to hang out and get results. You're going to have to put in work. So when I see guys saying, I'm just focused on myself and I'm not really giving any attention to women, my thought is this: unless you want to be a monk, you still probably want to meet women, either now or in the future. So when I have a guy who says, yeah, man, I'm just focused on myself, I'm like, are you watching porn? And then they're like, most guys are like, yeah, a bit here and there. Like, so why don't you just meet a girl instead of watching porn? Why don't you sleep with a girl? Or unless you're telling me you prefer porn than a woman next to you, which that's okay. By the way, sometimes I prefer just a quick jerking off than instead of like doing something with the girl. Genuinely, I'll be real. Rarely, but I prefer that. Sometimes I'm tired, I'm exhausted, just want to fucking come, don't feel like doing the whole thing, right? But most of the time, it's not that case. So I'll ask these guys, I'll say, okay, if you're focused on yourself and you know it's not about the women, you don't care about these women anymore, these girls that are taking up too much of your energy and time, okay, bro, if that's the case, why is it that you are still watching porn? If you don't have any sexual desires, if you don't desire female energy in your life, you don't want to see ass and titties in front of you, why is it that you're watching porn? And I always kind of catch them there, because they're like, okay, well, it's because the way dating is nowadays, I don't want to give my attention to that. Women want something, they want something just too much. Now I get it. It's too difficult for you is what you're saying, because you don't know how to create relationships and attract women without going down the route of wasting your time, without going down the route of it over-investing, without playing the game the wrong way. So let's say that instead of you saying, I'm just focusing on myself, instead what you could say is, where you're at now, based on how you communicate, how you lead, your value in the dating marketplace, all those things combined, it's very difficult for you to attract women without wasting time and resources, because women are not just attracted to you. Because if you had my reality, I would never say I'm just focused on myself, because I am just focused on myself. I spend most of my time either in the gym or running my business. That's all I do. I'm not kidding. Like, I just do meetings, I'm in the gym, I'm shooting for YouTube, I'm talking to my clients. That's it. I don't really do anything else. I don't do fun stuff because I don't have time for it. However, if I want to set up a date with the girl, I will do that on a Saturday night. On a Saturday evening, I want to go out with the girl, or I'll go out with buddies on Friday evening to meet women, actively take time to be social, and I'll end up taking a girl home, or I'll set up like 1 or 2 dates for the next week. So I'm doing this, and it's not taking a lot of energy. I work on my business anywhere from 30 to 50 hours per week. Sometimes a tiny bit more if I'm going to really immerse myself, but I usually spend around 30 to 50 hours working on my business. But I still have time to talk to girls, meet girls. I'm also in a relationship, so I have an amazing woman. I spend one time or once every week or once every 2 weeks going on an amazing date with her. She's next to me in bed at night. And if I want to meet another girl, I can do that as well. So it's not about I'm spending time focusing on myself, like girls say. Like, I'm just healing. Bro, if you're not fucking healing, you don't need to be spending time focused on yourself. What does that mean? Build your business or have your job and excel at that, and you have free time. You go to the gym, cool. You have more free time. On a Saturday evening, what are you doing? If you're telling me you'd rather be jerking off to porn or hanging out with a couple buddies playing basketball every Saturday, cool, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure a lot of guys who are just focused on themselves, if they could snap their fingers, they'd have a beautiful woman next to them in bed on a Saturday evening, or they'd be out in a nice lounge with 2 attractive women with them. I think that's the reality most guys would want, but we're hearing this narrative of I'm focused on me. So I want to explain to you this. There are 3 main paths of success as a man. Now that you understand that we're not going to talk bullshit here, and we do realize we do probably want women in our lives, we're either usually as men too lazy to get that, or we don't have the competence to get it, or our value is too low, so getting that is very difficult. There's 3 paths of success that you have as a man generally. There's fitness, which is mastery of your body. There's fitness, okay, looking good, being in shape. That's my big journey. I have 2 big journeys now. It's fitness and business. That's what I'm working on. Those are my 2 main focuses in my life. Fitness I'm doing actually quite well in. Very proud of myself. So there's fitness, and then you have business. Business is mastery of money. So working and building your business, if you own a business, if you have a side hustle, if you've got a 9 to 5 that you're really passionate about, making sure that you put yourself in a position where you can earn more, right? Whether that's, again, running a business that you can scale, whether that's running a service business where you can help people one-to-one or in a group format, and you can charge significant amounts of money for a big transformation, whatever that is for you. Working on business, getting to 6-7 figures, that's another journey. And then you have dating. That's the third pillar, dating, which is mastery of relationships. This is the third path of success. You don't just have 2 out of 3 of these. I'm serious, you don't. Unless you want to become a monk, unless you really want to live a life of celibacy. If you ever plan on meeting a woman and having like a great relationship with an amazing, attractive woman or multiple women in the future, you gotta master dating, because you're not gonna have relationship mastery without understanding the dynamics of meeting women, and you won't understand the dynamics of meeting women without actually meeting women. These two things don't go together. Understanding the dynamics and having a life of success, they don't go together if you're not meeting women. So the lessons that you learn in each of these paths, what it's going to do is it's going to increase your overall competence and your overall value as a man. That's why all of these are important. And let me tell you this is super important. When you say that one of these paths isn't worth it, what you're doing is sabotaging your future. When you say one of them isn't worth it, and trust me, I know this. I know guys from back in the day in the dating community, these fucking little pickup artists, and they would focus on dating, meeting girls, and maybe they'd put a bit of focus on fitness. And then they're broke as fuck. They're hitting the gym, they're getting in shape a bit, they're meeting girls, going out and approaching girls like fucking 7 days a week. But what's happening in their business, they're broke as fuck, and the quality of the women they're dating are women that would settle for dating men who are not financially capable or financially astute. That's a problem, right? So anytime you say one of these paths isn't worth it, you are actively committing to sabotaging your future. One of these things is going to be important at some point. So if you master relationships now and you have a great abundance, and let's say you've got fitness down pat, but you don't work on business, you're going to be fucked up in the future financially. Let's say you focus on business, and let's say you focus on fitness, but you don't focus on meeting girls, and not focus, again, like you have to prioritize that always, but you don't handle that category of life. What's going to happen is when you're more mature, 35, 36, maybe 40, whatever age, and you want that real deep relationship with the girl to like bear your children in the future, you're going to have trouble assessing and attracting the right kind of woman, because you haven't built the reference experience or gone through the reference experiences to normally and naturally attract that kind of women as a normal standard of who you are. It doesn't just happen by fucking luck. You don't just focus on yourself, bro, and then the girls will come. That doesn't happen. I'm not kidding with you, because I know a lot of guys that are making money and are jacked, but they're incompetent with women because they haven't invested time in understanding female nature, in understanding women and how women work while they're a busy man, while they're still focused on their purpose. You must have these things work together. They all come together. Dating is a non-negotiable pillar. And I'm going to wrap with this. Unless you're planning on living some life of celibacy, you need to set yourself up to win. And it's not too difficult when you have the right tools. That's what this is all about. It's about getting the right tools to position yourself to win. Working on, I know, again, guys who work on business constantly, and they say, I'll eat right and I'll get in shape later. And they're super unhealthy. They may not even be fat, but they're unhealthy or, really skinny, whichever version of that it is. They don't look good. And then they want to work on their fitness, and it's a way more difficult journey, and they're older. They're in their not older, but they're in their late 30s, and they haven't prioritized their fitness. I have got clients like this that I've worked with who are in their late 30s, early 40s, and now they're trying to turn it around, and it's working. You can start anytime you want, but if they would have built those references early on, they would have had an easier time creating the exact kind of lifestyle that they want. But they didn't build them early. They instead had a one-track focus. They got the result, sure, but they're severely lacking in other areas. So you want to be a well-rounded, competent man. If you want to learn how to do this and start interacting with women in a way that's authentic without wasting all of your time approaching tons of girls and wasting time with the wrong girls, I have a free resource down below. It's a masterclass that I created, a 4-step masterclass called the Impact Formula, and I'm giving it away for free. It explains how you can have essentially tap into women's emotions and make them desire you, chase you, and pursue you without you having to do all kinds of witty verbal game and things like that, but how you can be the kind of man that women just trust and want to invest in. If you want to learn that, you can grab it below. I'm giving it away for free. There's a link below. It's called the Impact Formula, how to attract women and impact women on your terms. Click that link and go ahead and grab your seat to look at the masterclass. It's completely free, and I'll see you there. Otherwise, have an amazing, amazing day. Glad that I was able to work with you here and give you a little piece of this value. I'll see you on our next training.